G'day everyone, it's Jerry here from Succulent Flytraps, your carnivorous plants nursery, all the way from our brand new location here at Oran Park. So for those of you who don't know, we just recently moved into our new location, say around about a month ago. And as you can imagine, it's been very hectic and very time consuming, considering we did most of the move ourselves. So that's the reason why I haven't been doing any updates recently. But I'm here to tell you, I'm getting back into the swing of things, as you can see by the newly potted plants behind me. And I can't wait to start producing high quality carnivorous plants videos. But in this video, I'm going to be just giving you guys a quick introduction as to how our place looks like here, at least from the outside. One of the factors we thought about before moving here was getting some extra space. So we've got a bigger block here than where we were before. So that's going to allow me to store the extra varieties of carnivorous plants, which I'm going to have in the near future. Also, we want to have a pool. My wife has always wanted a pool since I've recently taught her how to swim. So we're actually going to be installing the pool right here where the decking is. So that's going to be really exciting as well. And being an ex-display home here, it's quite barren here. There's not much of a garden, and I thought this would be the perfect place for me to start decorating around the outside, at least, with my carnivorous plants. So as the season progresses, I'm going to be sort of thinking about how I can decorate this place with those beautiful carnivorous plants. So let's have a quick look at our new location. Okay, so this is the front of our house. This is an ex-display home, and as you can see, it's a single-story house, unlike before where we had a double-story. I suppose having a larger block of land, you don't need to go up. You've got plenty of room to spread out, so that's why it's big enough with a single story. Got the side gate over there. And the beauty is about this location is you've got this beautiful natural pond over there, just over the side of the road. And not only is it beautiful to visit and look at, but it's really nice to hear the sound of ducks and all these other water birds. And you can even hear the sound of frogs. So it's really nice to see and hear that. And I love going over there for a bit of a walk. And I even heard a frog in one of our shrubs over here. Not sure what type of frog it was, but that was really nice to hear. So looking over here at the front, we've got our beautiful cycads over here. Love these shrubs. We had to relocate this one over here. That was over there in front of this rendered piece of fence. So we had to relocate that, put that over here. It seems to be surviving okay, but some of the leaves are looking a little bit brown, which is understandable. And what I'd love to do around here one day is actually put some sort of a pond or even a water feature out here at the front. I reckon here would be a nice location. I've already spoken to my wife about it, and she agrees it would be a nice thing. Nice having that water feature, something very unique. I reckon it would look great, especially with carnivorous plants in there. The only challenge there is that the water supply, I'm going to have to somehow... We've got a tap over here on the corner of the house, and it's all paved here with the driveway, so I'm not sure how I'm going to cover the hose to get it to feed the water feature or pond out here at the front. So something that I'm going to have to really have to sort of think about. Okay, so let's go through the side gate now. Okay, so this is the plants here that you may notice, because I used to feature them in the videos when I used to make my videos there on the decking in my old place. I've got the original shrubs over here. Not sure whether they're going to be staying or not. And then all of a sudden we have this beautiful wooden decking which goes on, say, for about I think about between 20 and 25 metres long. So it's a beautiful decking. We've got these wooden beams over here which I'm not sure what they're for. It must be purely for cosmetic reasons, but some of those are going to have to be removed when we put in our pool, which I'll get to in a sec. Over here, of course, it's the side of our house. It's open over here, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here that we still need to organise. Over here, of course, I've got my table where I have been doing all the repotting of my carnivorous plants. Being early spring, it's the perfect time to do it. And of course, over there is the newly potted plants. Didn't have much growing there, so I thought it's a perfect place for me to just put those newly potted plants. The pool itself is going to be installed here, so all this wooden decking is going to be eventually have to be removed, and the pool is going to basically start where that edge is. So all this is going to be removed, and that's going to be removed as well, and this is where our pool is going to be. And you may be wondering, that looks a little bit narrow. Well, in fact, you're absolutely correct. This wooden fence over here is not actually on our boundary. So this is an ex-display home. It was owned by a building company, and just before they sold this place, we actually bought it around about a year ago. They installed this fence, this wooden fence with these steel beams, and it's actually not on our boundary. Our true boundary is over there near the footpath. I'll just quickly show you where that is. So there's the footpath over there, and our boundary is actually around about 40 centimetres from the edge of the footpath. I actually got surveyors to come out to confirm that, but it's just, you can see how our blocky sort of fans out a bit. So this will be relocated, say, in the next couple of days, and of course when it does get relocated to where our boundary is, we're going to have a lot more space, and that's especially important for our pool over here. So yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, so moving along, here are my newly potted plants. Got some Drosera binata tea form over here. Got some Drosera capensis. I'll keep you guys informed as to when they're ready for purchase, but they're looking really healthy. They're just loving this north facing aspect over here, because the sun sets over there, sun rises over there, and this is all north over here, so it's the perfect location over here. They really are soaking up the sun. And of course, I posted this on my Facebook page recently. Have a look at this gorgeous Sarracenia flava Capria variety. Really gorgeous. Love that bronze coloured lid. And these are all freshly potted North American pitcher plants. Okay, let's go now down to the backyard over here. I've spent a lot of time here pulling out a lot of the weeds here. I've done that by hand. That's the reason why there's patches over here. It's getting pretty out of control. There's all this stuff over here. So I've removed all that grass, and I've actually placed it down into the corner of the block over there where our rear boundary fence is, and that's actually where it's supposed to be. Now, you may be wondering, that looks a little bit familiar. These wooden planks over here are from my original wooden platform that I had in Milton Grange. and the reason being is because I had to remove that wooden platform. It was a request from the new buyer. They didn't want it there anymore, so I thought, well, I'll remove it, and I thought I might reuse that someday, and I'm glad that I did, because I've already provided a very important use for it. So this over here is where all my plants are. They're just sitting here temporarily. Not long after we moved in, we went on holidays for around about 10 days, so I needed a place for them to be watered, because they like to have their feet wet. And I thought, well, after learning the pool project in Middleton Grange, where I used a pond liner, I did the same thing over here. So this over here is a pond liner that I've used, and I've propped up the edges of that pond liner with the original wooden planks from the growing platform that I had at Middleton Grange. And as you can see, the plants are really thriving here. They're getting plenty of sunlight over here, and they're really and truly awakening from their winter dormancy. Over here are the North American pitcher plants coming up with their brand new shoots, and of course the Venus Flytraps looking very, very hungry as they open up with their brand new traps. And have a look at these Cephalotus, looking beautiful. Love that red coloration. Again, this is all something that I had to think of, just like a makeshift solution when we weren't here for so long. I've just placed these into this tub of water, and there's wicks underneath those plants so they don't get overwatered. And they're looking pretty happy as well. And of course, have a look at this miniature garden. Look at all that sphagnum moss. We've had so much rain here with this La Nina, and the sphagnum moss has gone absolutely crazy. Loving it. Alright, so what's going to happen is, this is only a temporary place for the plants. I'm actually going to be storing them on another wooden platform that's going to have to be built, and it's going to be elevated, and the place for that wooden platform is going to be over there. Let's go and have a look at it. Okay, before I do have a look, so this makeshift pond, as I like to call it, is being supplied with water through my reverse osmosis filtration system, and that RO filtration system is actually connected to one of our mains tap, which is over here. Let's have a look. That's the mains tap. Over here I've got a rainwater tank, so it's the first time I've had a properly installed rainwater tank. This is around about 1,000 litres, so it's a lot larger than my 100 litre tank that I had in Middleton Grange. And that water is being pumped through the reverse osmosis filtration, and it's stored in this tank, and that supplies water to this pond over here. Whenever the water level goes down, there's a little valve there which senses when the water level goes down, and that supplies water through that tank over here, and it's been working a treat. Alright, so let's go over to this location where I'm going to be installing this wooden structure. So I've spoken to Ravi, who's going to be installing this, and he reckons over here would be a good location, and I agree. It's going to be around about, say, 3 by 3 meters, and it's going to be basically a 1.2 meter high structure with a flat top with wooden beams across the top of it. And on top of that wooden beams, where the top is, I'm going to be placing the pond liner, which I've used over here. In that pond liner I'm going to have water, which of course is going to be watering the plants. the beauty is that as well as reusing these wooden beams from my original wooden structure, we're also going to be reusing these this decking material over here, because that's where the pool's going to be. So I thought, well, why not reuse them as well? So it's nice to know that we're reusing as much material as we can and not reducing or not contributing to any landfill. And at the same time, it's going to be cheaper as well, considering the cost of building materials lately. And what I love about this location is it's beautifully sheltered from the wind. You've got the reef fence over there providing shelter. You've got that panel over there with the rainwater tank behind it, and of course we've got the rear of our house. So it's a nice location there to provide some sort of shelter from the wind for the plants. I've decided to have it elevated. If I was to put it on the ground, they would get sun, but they wouldn't get as much sun if they were elevated. Even though this is only a single-story house over here, doesn't block the sunlight too much, but by giving them a little bit of height, they're going to get more sun, and I say around about 7 to 8 hours a day. And what I've learnt with my nursery is the more sun you can give the plants, the happier and more vibrantly coloured they will be. So yeah, looking forward to that project. These here are all the original plants. As you can see, being an ex-display home, they didn't really work on the garden too much, so which is great. It's going to give me a sort of a blank canvas to work on, and as I said, I want to try and decorate some of this garden with my carnivorous plants. And have a look at this over here. Got this beautiful mint. Look at that, that's all mint over here. And look how that is, it's like a weed. It absolutely smells beautiful, and look at how beautiful those leaves are. And of course we've got some strawberries here as well, that's all original. Got a couple of them flowering, and some are even fruiting over here as well. And this is all the grass, all the weeds that I removed by hand, and I've just placed it all over here, along with any of the scraps, kitchen scraps. And already, after putting all these weeds and all these old leaves, I'm starting to see sort of like slaters underneath there and worms. So it's good to see that there's a bit of a compost happening right here. Alright, and that's another view of our backyard. So as you can see, a fair bit of space over here compared to our other place. And I can't wait to install this wooden platform.